Coming up tonight, investigations are underway into a woman's unnatural death after a fire at an Ang Mo Kio flat.
A senior district judge has been appointed to lead the inquiry into the fatal Tuas explosion.
And we speak to footballer Irfan Fandi, the first Singaporean to win the Thai League One title. This is the Straits Times Newsnight. I'm Dylan Ang.
Good evening, I'm Chow Suan. A 48-year-old woman has died from her injuries after a fire broke out in an Ang Mo Kio HDB flat this morning. She and a 20-year-old man, believed to be her son, were unconscious when taken to Tan Tock Seng Hospital.
Here's the moment when firefighters arrived at the scene as neighbours watched on. Using forced entry to get into the flat, firefighters found a woman in a bedroom and performed CPR on her as she wasn't breathing and had no pulse. They also rescued the man who was trapped in the kitchen toilet. The Singapore Civil Defence Force said the fire had engulfed the living room due to the vast accumulation of combustible items within it, and the firefighters' movement within the unit was severely impeded as they had to maneuver over heaps of items. SCDF said about 30 other people from the affected block were evacuated from their homes. The police do not suspect foul play, and investigations into the woman's unnatural death are ongoing.
In another fire-related incident, Senior District Judge Ong Yen San has been appointed to lead the inquiry into the Tuas industrial blast that killed 3 foreign workers. The inquiry will ascertain the causes and circumstances that led to the explosion and make recommendations to prevent such accidents in the future. The 5 remaining injured workers are out of critical condition and will be interviewed as part of the investigations. The last time an inquiry was convened for a workplace accident was in 2004 to look into the Nicole Highway collapse that killed 4 people.
Singapore is set to raise the maximum penalties for those convicted of 3 types of sex crimes. The offences are outrage of modesty and sexual communication with minors aged between 14 and 16 and between 16 and 18.
Law and Home Affairs Minister K. Shanmugam said offenders cannot expect it to be treated leniently, and the criminal justice system also reflects the values of society.
Such acts must be seen as penalizing a gross violation of fundamental values in Singapore. The usual mitigating factors will have less force when viewed through this prism. The starting point should be the conduct should never have happened. No excuses. Offenders should expect to face the full force of the law.
In other news from Parliament, Transport Minister Ong Ye Kung said Singapore is pushing forward with plans to revive the Changi Aviation Hub.
But he also acknowledged that there are still many uncertainties and there will be setbacks in the months ahead.
This year, I don't think it is realistic to expect a V-shaped recovery for the aviation sector. Second, it is also possible that the virus become endemic, meaning it is something we have to learn, to live with, to cope with, and to adapt to in the long term, just like the influenza virus. And third, notwithstanding this, with vaccines and the realization of governments around the world that they cannot perpetually close up their borders, I believe there will be some reopening of borders this year and some recovery this year.
An update on the COVID-19 situation here. 9 new cases were reported today, bringing Singapore's total to over 60,000. 60,007 cases to be exact. All 9 were imported and had been placed on stay-home notice upon arrival.
Meanwhile, 2 F&B outlets which flouted safe management measures were ordered to close. Club Peaches in Concord Shopping Mall engaged hostesses who intermingled with patrons across multiple tables. And Tasty Lung in Tiong Bahru Road also allowed customers to verbalise auspicious sayings followed by toasting during the Chinese New Year period.
Let's take a look at what's been trending on social media today. 9 great apes at the San Diego Zoo making history as the world's first non-human primates known to be vaccinated against COVID-19. Each of the 9 animals received 2 doses of an experimental vaccine originally designed for dogs and cats, with the apes exhibiting no adverse reactions and are all doing well. Zoo officials went ahead with the shots due to concerns about the animals' well-being after a troop of 8 gorillas at the affiliated San Diego Zoo Safari Park caught the coronavirus in January.
Guess the awards never stop for BTS. The Korean boy band has been named the best-selling artist of 2020, the first non-Western act to win and the first whose songs are not predominantly sung in English. The accolade caps a stellar year for the group, who released 2 chart-topping albums last year, Map of the Soul 7 and B. The win means they came out on top over other acts like Taylor Swift and Drake, who came in 2nd and 3rd respectively. Congrats, guys.
Flying the Singapore flag high, Irfan Fandi has become the first Singaporean to win the Thai League One title, following his side BG Pathum United's victory over Sukhothai yesterday.
The Rabbits stayed unbeaten and strode to their first top-flight championship with 6 games to spare. The 23-year-old centre-back, who has been a mainstay in defence, told us that this is just the beginning and shed some light on the struggles he had to face during the season.
This is just a small step for me, and I still have a long way to go. It's just one medal, you know, long road for me, and I'm gonna work really hard for the upcoming years. Our league has been going on for more than a year actually. Even when COVID came, we stopped for about 3-4 months, maybe 5 months, with no training with the team. So I haven't gone back to Singapore in over a year. I haven't seen my family at all. I think that was the most difficult part for me, being away from the family. But I feel like that's what made me stronger, be more independent, and it kept my head in the game for this year.
Congrats, Irfan. What an achievement.
So Dylan, what are your plans this weekend? Some football perhaps?
Yep, you know me, it's the Manchester Derby this weekend with City and United facing off at the Etihad Stadium. The 185th edition will see the rivals, currently in 1st and 2nd place respectively in the Premier League, battle it out for glory. Man City, a massive 14 points ahead, will be looking to extend its 28-game unbeaten run and inch closer to the league title, as it eased to a comfortable victory over Wolves earlier this week. Well, my team, the Red Devils, will have to find their spark again, coming off the back of 3 consecutive 0-0 results. The derby kicks off early Monday morning, 12:30 a.m. Singapore time.
Sounds pretty exciting, but I can't say I'm rooting for either side though. Here's what I'm thinking of checking out this weekend: SeptFest 2021, the Substation's arts festival, which returns after a 6-year hiatus and probably for the last time. This year's theme, In the Margins, takes a closer look at the stories of the marginalized, displaced and the forgotten communities who are often out of sight. The month-long festival will feature works in various media, including spoken word and theatre. Unfortunately, most, if not all, the ticketed shows are already sold out, but there's a wait list so you can try your luck. And if you did get tickets, lucky you.
And that wraps up the Straits Times News Night. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos.
You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.